What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Screen Headz TV, where we like to discuss all the wonderful things appearing on your movie and your TV screens. In this episode, I'm going to give my review of the last episode of Game of Thrones. That's Season 7, Episode 3, titled The Queen's Justice. Alright, so another solid episode, in my opinion. A lot of people are complaining about this season. Number one, we're only 3 episodes in, so easy there, people. And number two, I don't see anything to complain about other than the way they sold this season was, a cinematic experience, the big budget, shorter window, some longer episodes. So I think a lot of people were under the impression that this was going to be like action-packed beginning to end. I was one of those people. And yes, we've had more action after 3 episodes than we did in any other season up to 3 episodes, So, ease up. It's going to pick up. And I love the direction that they're taking all the characters. All right, let me stop rambling. Okay, so Game of Thrones, Season 7, Episode 3, The Queen's Justice. Let's start with Dany and Jon meet for the first time. I love this whole thing. Seeing Jon's team, of Davos and Jon Snow, meeting, it would have been nice if Tormund was there too. But still, meeting Dany and her team, Tyrion and Varys and Melisandre and et cetera, right? I really liked it. I thought we were going to see a little bit more of a attraction between Jon and Dany, but I get it. It's their first meeting. They don't know each other. They don't know if they could really trust each other. There's a lot going on. They're both dealing with their own conflicts, inner and, outer, regarding the whole realm. So it's understandable that they weren't like immediately smitten. But I thought we were going to get a little bit more of Jon taken aback by Dany's beauty, and Dany taken aback by not only Jon's beauty, but his how similar he is to her, where he's not so willing to just bend the knee and bow down. He has a backbone. He stands for something, just like Dany. They are very, very similar people. And you can see how there's some relation. And I would really like to see them as a couple. I know that sounds funny, with the whole incest thing or whatever. But, just thinking of it in terms of Westeros, right? Or in terms of just Game of Thrones, period. Dany's people, the Targaryens, are okay with incest. It's acceptable for them. Just like how in Dorne, it's acceptable to be bisexual or homosexual, where it isn't really in the rest of the realm. So, we could still see them together. I think they would make an awesome power couple, even if only for a brief window, because I don't think both of them will make it out of the whole show alive, but they could be the two that do make it out of the show alive. I don't want to see either one of them die. I just love their whole dynamic and the way Melisandre, Missandei, right? Introduces her with these 1 million titles. It's like, when is it going to end? Like, Jesus Christ already? Enough, And then we get Jon, King of the North. You know what I mean? Like, it just was awesome. And you kind of get a sense for what is going on in each character's brain by the way that they're introduced. Dany is all about ruling and showing her power. In her title, it expresses that. Whereas Jon is more about, he doesn't care about that shit. He just wants to get shit done. King of the North or not. Leader of the Night's Watch, Lord Commander of the Night's Watch or not. He's about getting it done. He doesn't care about the titles. He doesn't care about people following him as long as he's able to accomplish his goal. And that's really admirable of Jon. All right, so, that was great with them. Like I said, I love how Jon didn't bow to Dany or even really decide to join Dany, I love that. And I also liked how, Tyrion basically lets Dany know that, sometimes you got to give something. Sometimes if you want to earn someone's trust, someone's belief, someone's faith, or someone's army, you need to get them to feel a little bit more comfortable with you. And one way to do that is to give them something. Businesses do this all the time. With, hey, sign up for this bank account, we'll give you a free oven mitt. Not much, but it's something. But what Dany actually gives Jon is a big... not only does she give him the Mountain of Dragonstone, she actually says that her people will be the ones to mine it, which was, I think, above and beyond what Jon had hoped. So that was nice. All right. Loved all that stuff. Let's move on to Greyworm and Missandei. They got it on the episode before, and you kind of see now that before, Greyworm had no weakness, he had no fear, and he admits to Missandei that now he does, and that shows. I love how it's the scene plays out, how you hear Tyrion explaining how he made this back door, this secret entrance, so he could bring in his whores or whatever, and that's how Greyworm and his assassin team get into Casterly Rock, and that was all great stuff. They wouldn't have been able to take Casterly Rock without that, but who knows? Casterly Rock, was mighty empty, so they may not have been as successful if there wasn't already a heads up on the Lannister side of things. But you see in Greyworm's face when he's standing atop of the wall there on the castle, and he's looking out at his ships being burned to the ground and destroyed, fear. Where I don't think, if it was before the whole Missandei thing, I don't think we would have seen that fear. I think we would have seen an intensity of, oh, you're going to burn my ships down? I'm going to kill you type of stuff, So this does not bode well for Greyworm. We know that Game of Thrones is not all about happy endings and butterflies and palm trees, right? Like in the Isle of North. That was an interesting interaction, too, between Davos and Missandei. And I don't know, it felt fishy to me. Something felt off or awkward about that conversation. And I don't mean in the show running or the writing or the acting. I mean in like it was meant to. If you rewatch that scene, I've seen the episode twice now. If you rewatch that scene, it seems like Davos is fishing for information and Missandei is trying to not give him any information. And I would like to see where that goes, if anywhere in the future. Maybe Missandei's a spy. Maybe Davos doesn't fully trust Dany and her people. Maybe Davos is some sort of undercover spy that we don't know about. Who knows, man? This is Game of Thrones, and it's wartime. Anything can happen. Alright, so yeah, that's really much it with the Dany side of things. Loved it. Good stuff. I try to move on. It's already, I talked about them long enough, right? So now we get to Cersei stuff. She gains a new ally in Euron. He accomplished his goal in getting a priceless gift for her. Which are the remaining Sand Snakes. I believe it's Ilaria and Tyene, I think is the one that's left. The one with the daggers. Loved how Cersei approached that situation and how she let them know it ain't going to be quick and easy. And she kisses Tyene with the same poison that killed Myrcella, which was awesome. And the whole acting part in that, which is great between all the parties involved. I mean, it always is for Game of Thrones, though, right? So that was really good stuff. She still is kind of turning down Euron's marriage proposal. I don't know if she really wants to accept it or not, or if she's really serious about it, because I think Euron is attractive to her because they are similar in their ruthlessness and their evilness, right? Whereas Jaime is now kind of distancing himself from Cersei in that respect, where they're not seeing eye to eye anymore where they used to. And I think maybe that sexual encounter with between Cersei and Jaime was Cersei's way of saying bye to Jaime, because she's gonna send them out to the front lines probably constantly now. And maybe she'll even kill him when it's all said and done. That's not really my prediction. My prediction is actually the other way around. If you haven't watched my prediction videos, check them out. They're on the channel. There's a couple of them. But good stuff, though. I love the whole stuff at King's Landing. And then we see at the end Jaime leading his forces into Highgarden, killed all the Tyrells, and then disposed of the Queen of Thorns, Lady Tyrell, and that was a great scene. And it showed a really sign of respect for one's elders, one's peers, a respected family of Westeros in the way that Jaime approached Lady Olenna, which was really, really nice. And, she's always gangster. She's been gangster from the moment she stepped on the scene. No different now. For a moment, you wonder if she's losing that gangster, knowing that she's going to die. And she asks him if it's going to be quick and painless, whatever. He says, yep. And then she just downs that shit like a shot. Gangster. And then tells him straight up, I killed your boy. Even though it wasn't only her. Littlefinger had a hand. There was other people that played parts in this. But she takes all credit, tells Jaime, you make sure you tell Cersei, it was me, not Tyrion, that did it. And I don't know if Jaime's going to want to tell her that or keep that information to the vest for a little bit. But I'm assuming for dramatic purposes, he's going to tell her, and that's going to strike a chord in her really, really badly. And I think that's going to take the storyline between Jaime and Cersei in an interesting direction. All right, so then we get Sansa and Bran reunite. Bran is really creepy now, like Shining Kid creepy. He doesn't seem like Bran anymore. I guess now the three-eyed raven has taken control of him, or just maybe he knows that shit is so real and so serious right now. It's no time for smiles and puppies and hugs, right? It's got to be about getting stuff done. And maybe that's it. Or maybe just being the three-eyed raven changes you in the amount of knowledge that you obtain. Or maybe he just knows that Sansa's storyline is not headed in good places. Remember, he could see the present and the past, and he probably can intuit the future. I don't know if he can really see it, because the future is not exactly made yet, you know what I mean? But I think he can kind of intuit what's going to happen in the future. Good stuff there. And then we have Sam gets in trouble for curing Ser Jorah, which was nice to see. We kind of all knew it was going to happen. And I think he gained some respect from the Maester. And I think we all think that Sam is going to be punished, like by, cleaning the mites or whatever off those scrolls. But I think the Maester has an ulterior motive here, where now he sees that Sam is more than capable. Sam has done something that many other Maesters have tried and failed, or were too scared to even try. And I think he may realize that Sam is more than just Maester material. Sam is going to be a huge player in this game. So many people are overlooking him and not talking enough about Sam's storyline, but he is going to be one of the biggest keys to solving the mystery on how to win the war against the White Walkers. That's probably not going to come into play till next season, but this season will be about Sam actually obtaining all of that knowledge. And I'm really excited to see where it goes. I like what they're doing with Sam's storyline. I liked it last season. A lot of people complain about Sam and what's her name? I forgot. I'm drawing a blank on his girl's name with Baby Sam. But a lot of people didn't like their storyline. I like it. I think it's interesting seeing where Sam came from in season 1. And where he is now at season 7 is a long ways away. Just like all of the characters have come such a long way in these last 7 seasons. And again, we see Littlefinger. He's plotting. He's planning. What do I think he's going to do? He's going to somehow try and either get Sansa back in his good graces, or maybe the rest of the people of the North. Or knowing Littlefinger, he may be up to no good and working with Cersei as well. Who knows? Really, really excited to see where that goes. So that's pretty much it for this one. A really good episode. I enjoyed it. I like what they're doing with this season. Did I think it was going to move faster? Yes. Is it moving faster than the previous seasons? Yes. But I thought it was going to be a little bit faster in motion. And I definitely am with the camp that thought there was going to be more action, bigger battles, not skipping stuff like how we didn't see the Tyrells die. We didn't see all of the Greyworm stuff. I really think I expected more from that. But we're only at episode 3. We have 4 more episodes to go. I know that's not a lot. But they're some of the longer episodes of this history of the series. So we should get a lot out of it. All right, that's it for this one. I'm done taking up your day. It was a lot longer than I wanted it to be. Like I said, with this show, so many characters, so many moving parts, so much stuff going on, it's hard to talk about it all as much as I want to in, 15 minutes or under. So my apologies for that, but maybe I'll do a follow-up one where I get to touch like I did last week. I don't really know. All right, so sound off down below. Let me know what you thought about Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 3, The Queen's Justice, which was a vicious justice at that, wasn't it? Or anything Game of Thrones related, Season 7, older seasons, whatever you want to talk about. Trying to talk about too much book stuff. Don't want to spoil anything for anybody who's not savvy to the books. And yeah, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Always appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time.